My primary job today is to introduce Mr. Jeffrey Immelt, the CEO of General Electric, for the prize given out every year by the Botwinick family. My name is Bruce Kogut. I'm a professor, as many of you know, at Columbia and the director of the Sanford C. Bernstein Center for Ethics and Leadership. Now, this center has many responsibilities, including the pedagogy, which is particularly introduced during the first week or two of the MBA and Immelt experience. But we also put on very large research events. For example, recently we put on an event on universities, careers, and women. And in December, we're running a conference with the modest title of Preventing the Next Financial Crisis. The center has a great student board who is present here, both MBAs and EMBA. We work with them very, very closely. We also have faculty who are associated with the center who give us a lot of supports. This particular prize, the Botwinick Prize in Business Ethics, was established through a generous donation to the business school, the Columbia Business School, to name every year a major figure in ethics in honor of the alumnus of the school, Benjamin Botwinick. Each year we also name 3 Botwinick scholarships to the incoming class, and 3 of these people from the current class are here among others. Now, the recipient of this award this year is someone who is recognized for very bold leadership in business ethics. Mr. Jeffrey Immelt is a graduate of Dartmouth and its now legendary football team, which has clearly produced more than one great leader of current times. I'm not sure how many of you know this, but Hank Paulson is also a graduate of Dartmouth and the Dartmouth football team. Mr. Immelt went on to earn an MBA at a competing school in the Northeast, Harvard, and then has spent about 25 years at General Electric itself, running a number of their major businesses. And he was named the CEO, actually it's the 9th CEO in the year 2000. It's quite amazing that given how old this company is, it's only had 9 CEOs, which speaks a lot to the leaders which they have chosen. This company is one of the most admired companies in the world. Just to give a sense of how adaptable it's been, because it's hard to survive ups and downs, and today obviously is an up and down period of time. But when the Dow Jones first started its index in 1896, this was one of the 12 companies which formed that index, and is the only one today which is still part of that index. So it has tremendous ability to survive. It's been present in global markets for over a century. It resists a lot of managerial fads, which we often speak about. So it's remained a company with many businesses, with a very strong capital markets and service business, which has been able to use to leverage its other businesses, often which are very capital intensive. It's also been a company which has had certain chinks in its armor, especially in the environmental area. And since we do look out on the Hudson River, there was a decade or more ago a lot of controversy over some of the activities involving the environment and corporate responsibilities. This has been remarkably reversed the past decade, and now GE is a leader in green businesses, as many of you know. And as we look out at an improving Hudson River, we have to applaud the leadership of Mr. Immelt to really have turned these things around and to make GE a remarkable example. When we say ethics, sometimes I think what we mean is that it's not to do bad things. There's also the view that people should do good things. And one of the things which Mr. Immelt has done at GE is to put into place an amazing program called Echo Imagination, which he'll discuss a little bit for us today. And it's done really 2 things with it. One was just to simply to cut some of the activities and the byproducts of production, which has been hurting the environment. But he's also done something which is quite radically different. It's a strategic reorientation to move the company towards innovation and using green businesses to innovate. And this is not a minor issue. We're talking here about billions of dollars which have been spent on R&D to make it more of a leader in innovation not just in terms of also running a very effective and low-cost company. He has many challenges, as you can imagine, these days, and we're particularly grateful to Mr. Immelt for taking the time to come during this time to receive the Botwinick Prize in Business Ethics. We have many people in the room. Some of you actually are employees of General Electric. Some of you are students in our executive MBA program who have worked for General Electric. And I also know that many of our MBAs are quite enthusiastic about this company because it does have that match which Columbia students like, and that is between economic value and also broader social values, which is so critical in today's environment. So General Electric is one of these companies which says you can make good and you also can do good, and for this reason it's particularly an honor to have Mr. Immelt here. Thank you very much, Mr. Immelt. I would like to welcome you to the podium. My first responsibility is to present to you this beautiful, somewhat heavy prize.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bruce. Thanks. It's a good weapon, too. It looks like.
Good weapon, too.
Yeah.
It will be needed.
Good, good. Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be here. And I'm honored to receive the Botwinick Prize. Bruce, thank you, and thanks to the faculty and students here. And of course, I do this on behalf of all the great employees at GE. And I just happen to lead a great organization with 300,000 great people, so I always want to make sure to acknowledge their great efforts, and I'm very proud of them. You know, the topic of the speech, and I was thinking about what to say, and kind of in a nutshell, when you think about ethics and corporate social responsibility, is really kind of three parts. It's ethical behavior from the top of the organization all the way down. It's really a sense of giving back to the community and being generous, and both in terms of your people's time but also money. And then I've always thought that it's making money by solving big problems. And companies that have a sense of ethical behavior, that give back, and that really combine their strategic sense and the technical sense along with problem-solving skills societally, have a tendency to be successful in this endeavor. I didn't want to give that speech today because we live in a world and it's apparent the kind of things we have to be thinking about. So if you wanted to hear that speech, I'm happy to meet you afterwards, or we can talk about it some other time, but I just thought it might be helpful to the students here to have somebody that runs a big company kind of talk a little bit about how I see the world and what ethical behavior in the context of the world we see today, how to pick through it, make choices, might be more interesting to you. And so that's really what I'm going to do today. Now, when I address GE groups, I always say, look, there's bad news and there's good news. The bad news is we're living history. I mean, in a negative way. We are every day waking up to see things that we never thought we'd see before. The month of September and October have been, catastrophic in some ways. I would say that if all that had happened in 2008 would have been that Bear Stearns almost went bankrupt and got saved by J.P. Morgan, we would have said 2008 was an unbelievable year. That was just an hors d'oeuvre. That was just the warm-up pitch to what was about to happen this fall and the world we're still living in today. So the bad news is we're living history, and the good news is we own CNBC. So we got that going for us. If there has to be something bad going on, you might as well profit from it, and that's the only good thing that I can think of right now.